My name is Diana, and I'm about to tell you how my cousin Melissa tried to destroy my wedding and ended up destroying her own. So, when's your little backyard ceremony? Melissa asked at our grandmother's birthday party, loud enough for half the family to hear. I looked up from my phone. It's not a backyard ceremony. We're having it at Rosewood Estate. Rosewood? She laughed. Diana, that place is totally booked. I tried getting it for my wedding. They told me they're reserved 2 years out. We got lucky, I said quietly. Lucky, she rolled her eyes. More like settling for their off-season rates when no one else wants it. My fiancé James squeezed my hand under the table. Actually, we got the prime June date. Melissa's smile faltered. That's impossible. I called them 3 months ago about June dates. Well, we have it confirmed, James said. Whatever, Melissa waved her hand dismissively. My wedding at the Sterling Manor will make Rosewood look like a barn anyway. We're spending $50,000 on flowers alone. That's wonderful, Melissa, my Aunt Linda said, trying to diffuse the tension. It'll be the wedding of the century, Melissa continued. Everyone who matters will be there. Diana, I'm sure your little gathering will be nice too. Intimate, you know, for people on a budget. I felt my face burning. Our wedding will be beautiful. I'm sure it'll be cute, she patted my shoulder condescendingly. But let's be honest, you're a teacher, James is a physical therapist, my Derek is a corporate lawyer. We're just playing in different leagues. Melissa, that's enough, Aunt Linda snapped. I'm just being realistic, Mom. Melissa turned to the other cousins. I mean, no offense to Diana, but comparing our weddings would be like comparing a Ferrari to a Honda Civic. Both get you there, but one definitely does it with more style. The table went silent. You know what? I stood up. I hope you have a wonderful wedding, Melissa. I really do. Oh, I will, she smirked. In fact, I'm meeting with the Sterling Manor's event coordinator tomorrow. They're creating a custom package just for us. Derek's father knows the owner. James pulled me aside as I grabbed my purse. Let it go. She's not worth it. She's been like this our entire lives, I whispered. Golden child Melissa. Everything's a competition. Then let's win, he said with a mysterious smile. What do you mean? I'll tell you in the car. As we left, I heard Melissa's voice carrying across the room. See? She can dish it out but can't take the truth. My wedding is going to be legendary. Hers will be pathetic in comparison. Those words echoed in my head the entire drive home. I had no idea that Melissa's legendary wedding was about to become legendary for all the wrong reasons. You're kidding, I said, staring at James in our kitchen. Your Uncle Richard owns the Sterling Manor? And Rosewood Estate, James grinned, and 3 other venues in the state. Why didn't you tell me? Because you wanted to plan our wedding yourself. You didn't want people thinking we got special treatment. He pulled out his phone. But after what Melissa said tonight, I think it's time Uncle Richard knew who's trying to book his venue. What are you going to do? James dialed. Uncle Richard? It's James. Yeah, good. Listen, I need to tell you about a client you might be meeting with soon. I listened as James explained the situation. His uncle's responses made James smile wider. Thanks, Uncle Richard. I really appreciate it. He hung up. He's meeting with Melissa tomorrow. He'll handle it personally. I don't want to be petty, I said. This isn't petty. This is consequences. James showed me his phone. Uncle Richard doesn't tolerate entitled clients. He's turned away people for less than what Melissa said. The next morning, Aunt Linda called me. Diana, honey, can we talk? Of course. What's wrong? It's about Melissa's behavior last night. I'm mortified. Her voice cracked. I raised her better than that. The things she said about your wedding, about you and James. It's okay, Aunt Linda. It's not okay. She's been impossible ever since Derek proposed. Everything's about status and showing off, she sighed. I want you to know that I think your wedding will be beautiful. You and James are doing this the right way, with love, not ego. Thank you. That means everything. I tried talking to her this morning, but she just laughed and said she's meeting with someone important about her venue today. I bit my lip. About that. What? James's uncle owns the Sterling Manor. Aunt Linda gasped. Richard Morrison is James's uncle? Yes, and he's not happy about what Melissa said. Oh no, Diana, what's going to happen? I don't know. James says his uncle has standards for his clients. Melissa's going to be devastated if she can't have that venue. It's all she's talked about for months. Maybe she should have thought about that before insulting people. Aunt Linda was quiet for a moment. You're right. She needs to learn this lesson. That afternoon, my phone exploded with texts from other family members. Apparently, Melissa's meeting at the Sterling Manor hadn't gone well. Very not well. My cousin Rachel called. Diana, did you hear? Melissa's losing her mind. The Sterling Manor rejected her. Really? The owner himself told her they don't have availability for her wedding date. She's crying to everyone that they're discriminating against her. I felt a twinge of guilt, but then I remembered her words. Pathetic. James came home with flowers. Uncle Richard called. He wanted you to know that his decision had nothing to do with us asking him to reject her. Really? Really. He said after 5 minutes of listening to Melissa brag about her budget and demand special treatment because of Derek's father's connections, he knew she wasn't the right fit for his venue. What exactly did she say? James pulled out his phone and played a voice message from his uncle. James, you should know what your cousin said in our meeting. She told me her wedding needed to put other couples to shame, specifically mentioning your wedding as something hers needed to completely overshadow. She actually asked me to refuse service to anyone she considered competition. That's not how I run my business. I sat down, stunned. The revenge I'd imagined paled in comparison to what Melissa had done to herself. The family group chat exploded 2 days later. Melissa had posted, "Can't believe some venues discriminate based on who you know. So unprofessional." My mother called immediately. "Diana, what's going on? Melissa's posting about discrimination." She tried to book the Sterling Manor. And James's uncle owns it. He turned her down because of how she acted in the meeting. My mother gasped. Richard Morrison is James's uncle? Oh my God. She doesn't know that yet. Diana, this is going to get ugly. It already is ugly, Mom. She called our wedding pathetic. I know, honey. Your father and I were furious when we heard. The next day, Melissa's mother, my Aunt Carol, called me. Diana, we need to talk about this Sterling Manor situation. What about it? Melissa says they rejected her for no reason. Derek's father is threatening to report them. Aunt Carol, they rejected her because she was rude and demanding. That's not what Melissa said. I'm sure it's not, but James's uncle owns the Sterling Manor, and he was in the meeting personally. Silence. James's uncle? Richard Morrison. Melissa didn't know. Oh, dear God. Aunt Carol's voice dropped. What did she say in the meeting? She asked him to refuse service to couples she considered competition, including me and James. No, she didn't. She did, and she bragged about wanting to overshadow our wedding specifically. Aunt Carol started crying. I'm so sorry, Diana. I'm so sorry. I appreciate that. What can I do to fix this? I don't think you can. This is between Melissa and the consequences of her actions. That Sunday, the entire family gathered at my grandmother's house, the same place where Melissa had humiliated me 2 weeks earlier. Melissa arrived late, her face blotchy from crying. I hope everyone's happy. My dream wedding is ruined. Maybe if you hadn't been so cruel about Diana's wedding, things would be different, Aunt Linda said quietly. What's Diana's wedding got to do with anything? Everything. James stood up. My uncle owns the Sterling Manor. He was in your meeting personally. Melissa's face went white. Your uncle? Richard Morrison. He heard every word you said about wanting to overshadow our wedding, about asking him to turn away couples you considered competition. I wasn't. He recorded the meeting, James said. It's his policy for all client consultations. Derek, Melissa's fiancé, turned to her. You said you'd just inquired about dates. You didn't mention any of this. I was trying to make our wedding special. By tearing down someone else's? My mother asked. Melissa looked around the room at her family members' disappointed faces. You're all taking her side? There are no sides, my grandmother said firmly. There's just right and wrong. What you said about Diana was wrong. Fine. Melissa grabbed her purse. If that's how everyone feels, maybe Derek and I should just elope. Derek didn't move. Melissa, I think we need to talk about this behavior. What behavior? I'm the victim here. No, Derek said quietly. You're not. Melissa stormed out alone. 2 weeks later, Aunt Linda called with an update. Diana, can I come over? I need to tell you what's happening with Melissa. She arrived with red eyes. Derek broke off the engagement. What? Why? He said Melissa's behavior showed him a side of her he couldn't marry. Aunt Linda wiped her eyes. After the family dinner, he started asking questions. Found out she'd been cruel to his sister about her engagement ring. Made fun of his mother's simple wedding photos. I'm sorry, Aunt Linda. Don't be. You were right. She needed to face consequences. She pulled out her phone. She's been posting about it on social media, making herself look worse. I read the posts. Melissa was blaming everyone but herself. She lost Derek, her venue, and most of the family's respect, Aunt Linda said. Carol and I have been trying to talk sense into her, but she won't listen. Has she tried other venues? Every high-end venue in the state knows about the Sterling Manor incident. Wedding coordinators talk. Aunt Linda shook her head. Derek's father tried to use his connections to get her blacklisted. He's furious about how she treated his family. My phone rang. It was Melissa. Should I answer? Aunt Linda nodded. Maybe she's finally ready to apologize. I put it on speaker. Hello? Diana? Melissa's voice was small. I need to talk to you. Okay. Derek left me. The wedding's off. I heard. I'm sorry. Are you? Her voice turned sharp. This is what you wanted, right? To destroy my life? Melissa, I didn't do anything. You did this yourself. By telling the truth? By being confident about my wedding? By being cruel. By calling my wedding pathetic. By trying to sabotage other couples. I never. Richard Morrison has the recording, Melissa. Everyone knows what you said. She started crying. I just wanted a perfect wedding. Was that so wrong? No. But tearing others down to build yourself up was wrong. Can you talk to James? Ask his uncle to give me another chance. No. Please. I'll apologize. I'll do anything. You had your chance. You wasted it being mean. Diana, please. I need to go. My wedding planner just arrived. Your wedding planner? Her voice cracked. You're still having your wedding at Rosewood? Of course. It's going to be beautiful. But I'm losing everything. That's not my problem. Goodbye, Melissa. I hung up. Aunt Linda squeezed my hand. You did the right thing. It doesn't feel good. It's not supposed to, but sometimes people need to hit rock bottom before they can change. My wedding day arrived 3 months later. The ceremony at Rosewood Estate was everything I'd dreamed. James's uncle Richard had personally overseen every detail, refusing payment despite our protests. At the reception, Aunt Linda hugged me. It's absolutely perfect, Diana. Where's Melissa? She didn't come. She's been house-sitting for a friend, avoiding everyone. Aunt Linda smiled sadly. But Carol and I are here. We wouldn't miss this. My grandmother pulled me aside. You handled everything with grace, sweetheart. That's real class. Something Melissa needs to learn. Has she reached out to anyone? She sent your mother an email, an actual apology, not one of those sorry you felt that way non-apologies. Really? Really? Maybe losing everything taught her something. James spun me onto the dance floor. No more thinking about Melissa. This is our day. Our perfect, definitely not pathetic day. He laughed. Uncle Richard wants to talk to you later, by the way. About what? He's writing new client policies for all his venues. He's calling it the Basic Human Decency Clause. Melissa inspired some needed changes. I looked around at our friends and family celebrating with genuine joy. No competition, no comparison, just love. Melissa had wanted a wedding that overshadowed everyone else's. Instead, she ended up with no wedding at all. Meanwhile, mine was everything I'd hoped for, not because of the venue or the flowers, but because it celebrated what actually mattered. Sometimes karma doesn't need help. It just needs you to get out of the way. Have you ever watched someone sabotage themselves while trying to sabotage you? Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people face the natural consequences of their own behavior. Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.